Hey, this is the best of me this year. I hope you guys had a great year, and I hope you guys have a great next year. Thanks for watching. Bye. Everyone knows that fishing rods are useful for things other than fishing, being able to pull players, mobs, TNT, and items, but did you know this super trick to move mobs hundreds of blocks at a time? If you wanted a shulker at your house, you would need to get it out of the end. All you need to do is get it into a boat, turn your render distance to 2, go double the distance of the in gateway while raising your render distance by 1 every time you go a chunk further, then go up and pull the fishing rod. Once you raise your render distance, the boat will load in again and it will fling hundreds of blocks directly to the gateway. This can be used anywhere on everything, so if you want to use this, I linked a more in-depth tutorial in the comments below. Breaking the inner dragon egg is possible in Minecraft and you didn't even know it. While most people have played Minecraft for years thinking that the only way to obtain the egg is with a piston or torch, but you can just mine it. You can always break it as long as it doesn't have a place to teleport. So in older versions you could have made a huge platform really high so it couldn't teleport. But now with the way that biomes generate, it's easier than ever. If you place the egg into an ocean, it won't be able to teleport to a cave because of water caves. So once in the ocean, you can just mine the egg simply. What's the rarest naturally spawning block in Minecraft? It's not obsidian or deep slate emeralds or even a sea pickle, although until 1.17 it was, so congrats to you. It's hanging roots which only spawn underneath azalea trees with a very rare spawn chance. On top of that, azalea trees are super rare, meaning even after hours of searching, you still might not get the roots. But when you add structures into the mix, it falls a few ranks. Your first thoughts of rare stuff might be sponges in a monument, or maybe even skeleton skulls in an ancient city, but the rarest block is a diamond block, which seems wrong, but it is very right. In a mansion, there is an obsidian room that you have to mine through to get a block of diamond. There's also the lava rune that spawns a diamond in the middle of the lava cage. Good luck finding a mansion though. Minecraft's hardest achievement is most definitely How Did We Get Here, which requires you to have every effect in the game. This is not only difficult because of all the things you need to collect throughout journeying your world, but you also need to get a shulker from the end, a dolphin from an ocean, 8 nautilus shells, enchanted golden apple, a full beacon, and a wither rose, which are all pretty hard to get, but once you have everything, there's a very easy setup which can be done in no time at all. I first brew all the potions that you need while setting up my conduit, dolphin, and shulker. Then you just make your beacon, fill the dispenser with an invisibility potion and spectral arrows. Then I apply Hero of the Village, Bad Omen, and Mining Fatigue, put the potions on, and there you go. A more in-depth explanation is in the comments. Here's some random things that you should know in Minecraft. When you start a world, you probably mine wood, make stone tools, and maybe build a house, but instead of doing that, you should make a wood axe and a boat to get iron and food from shipwrecks to get yourself a faster start. If you place a lava bucket like this and let it flow all the way and place water, you can make yourself a huge cobblestone pyramid. I don't know why this is useful, but it's pretty cool to look at and experience. If you're thinking about doing your level 30 enchants in Minecraft, instead you should just loot in cities because they have better loot and take less time than enchanting. Finally, if you didn't know by now, the dragon fight shouldn't be scary. All you need is 2 obsidian beds. Wait for it to purge and just one cycle it. What is the most expensive Minecraft account ever? Well, to start with, everyone's account is worth at least $26 because, well, that's how much the game costs. But then there are 2 things that make an account expensive, and when I say expensive, I mean expensive. The 2 things are an account's username and the cape that it has on. Nowadays, the Minecraft account rules are a username with 3 to 6 characters, but there are 4 accounts with 1 character usernames because they were made in early Minecraft days. The accounts are F, G, X, and 8, with 8 being the most expensive because of the 3 Minecon capes that it also has. Now this account will run you $10,000 if you wanted to have it, but the most expensive account is Notch because when he dies an apple drops, making his account coded different from all others. So if you wanted it, it would probably cost millions, but good luck getting it. Have you ever wanted to get revenge on someone that stole all your stuff or killed your dog? Well, this machine here is the solution to all your problems. But before I tell you, make sure you're aware that if you do this on a server, you will most likely get banned if you are caught. So just don't get caught. But anyway, this machine ticks redstone so fast that it lags the world, making others around it crash. This design is the small version, and because of the way it is set up, you can make it as large as you want, only making the lag increase. So next time you want revenge or something like this, just build their ultimate doom. What's the hardest block to get in Minecraft? Most people will say something like the ender dragon egg or the beacon, but you can kill the dragon easily like this, and same with the wither using the bedrock trick. Now there are blocks you don't see much of, like the netherite block, which is pretty time consuming, but it's still not hard to get. The hardest block to get is easily the rooted dirt block, which many people haven't even heard of before. In order to get this, you need first to grab yourself a moss block, which can only be obtained from a wandering trader trade or a small chance in a shipwreck food chest. Once you have it, you need to bone meal it, and if you don't get an azalea like this, you need to go get another one. But once you have the azalea, then you can grow an azalea tree, which only has one piece of it at the bottom. Or you could just load 119, lol. Here's some things that have a lot of potential for the future. The jungle temple is a structure that has so much potential. Like the traps in it are a cool idea with a secret chest, and also jungle biomes are pretty rare, making a jungle temple also rare, so it being a cool trapped lair would be very cool. The monument has the Elder Guardian, which is one of only 3 Minecraft bosses, and I feel like it's just so underwhelming, with the monument only having cool blocks with sponges and 8 gold blocks. I mean, the Wither has wither skeleton skulls that you have to kill to spawn it, and the dragon has a whole dimension, so hopefully the Elder Guardian will get a revamp. The last thing is hopefully in the future the dragon gets an update to make it harder. Even if you don't know the bed trick, it's still not hard to kill him. Leave your opinions in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. The nether roof is something that I assume most people would know about, but I feel like it's not used enough. Now the nether roof without a doubt is the best way to travel in Minecraft, no debate about it. With its practicality and 1 block in the nether equaling 8 blocks in the overworld, it's the champ. Now the normal nether is fine traveling through, but terrain isn't the best and lava lakes kill any hope at fast travel. Being able to travel thousands of blocks in seconds on foot makes using things like minecarts, boats, or elytras a necessary travel method while playing. The most common way to get onto the nether roof is using a ladder and pulling up when the targeted block says 127 for the Y level. Make sure to bring obsidian when you do this, or you're going to end up dead or stuck forever. The cauldron might be an item you need to have in Minecraft. For the most part, the cauldron is one of the most useless blocks in the game, used to extract water from it, but like water source. You can use it to undye leather armor, which is okay I guess, get lava sources, which is useful but not anything special. But the cauldron is an item that can be used for something only it can do. When you have water in it, you can't use it to save yourself from fall damage, but you can stop yourself from burning. Now this is the only way to do this in the nether, which for people who aren't good at navigating the nether, this can be very useful for you. The fastest way to beat the ender dragon in 1.17 is by using a piston. If you activate a piston like this in 1.17, you spawn in the outer end, meaning you can loot in cities before you even kill the ender dragon. This makes killing the dragon so much easier because of the good loot you can get. Now at 1.19 it doesn't really work anymore because of the portal room being below Y0, you get spawned in the void. But if you already have an elytra, you can fly out for a faster way to get to the outer end. You can also use this to trap your friends who think it's just a silly way to enter the end. Like this for example. Here are some structure tips that you may or may not know about. When looting a monument for gold blocks, you want to go to this side of the monument and mine this block on each side to see where the dark prismarine is. When digging for buried treasure, the chunk that the X is in, you need to dig at 9-9 for the location of the actual chest. When looting a desert temple with nothing, breaking the block under the pressure plate and exploding 1 TNT like this is the fastest way to get all the stuff and you get blocks. In city chests only spawn in this building on the opposite side of the staircase and this one on the opposite corner of the top staircase. And finally, when you find the stronghold chunk, you want to dig at 4-5 because this is where the starter staircase spawns at, and digging at 4-4 will make you take fall damage. You may or may not know about the struggle of getting Feather Falling 4 in Minecraft. When you enchant for max enchant, you need to enchant at level 30, which most people know about. But when you enchant your boots, did you know there's only a 2.7% chance of Feather Falling 4? Which means on average you have to enchant 38 boots just for Feather Falling 4, which is terrible. But for some weird reason that has yet to be found out, when you enchant at level 23 it becomes a 34% chance of getting it, which is so much better. So you can finally put away your precious diamonds just to make hundreds of different boots just for 1 enchant. This is the Ender Pearl Chamber, which is super effective in multiplayer scenarios. All you need is a 6 block hole with soul sand at the bottom and 6 water sources up with the trapdoor on top. This can be flicked by a player to instantly teleport another player back to the position of the chamber. Now, although it's not as effective in single player, it can still be used when you add a daylight sensor. If you place a daylight sensor with 15 redstone away from it and throw at noon, you have exactly 20 minutes to explore whatever you want. There is only one downside, which is when you find diamonds and get teleported before you can get them. So I recently found out about an item in Minecraft that I've never heard or seen about before. Everyone knows about barrier blocks, which are used to, well, make barriers, but when you use them, they count as full blocks, so when you're trying to make water stop flowing, it just looks weird. But did you know about the structure void block, which is pretty much the same thing except they don't act like solid blocks? So it's basically like a really good placeholder that is super useful for builds. And water can still flow through them, making water and lava not a nightmare anymore. How have I literally never heard about them in the almost 10 years I've been playing the game? The most useless mob in Minecraft you probably don't even remember. Every mob for the most part does at least something. The most useful mob is the brown mushroom, which gives you milk, mushroom stew, any suspicious stew, mushrooms, beef, and leather. The silverfish, one of the more useless mobs, protects the end portal. Not very well, but it still does. Now you might think the mob is the bat, which you would be right, except it allows you to find caves sometimes, so yeah. The most useless mob is the ocelot, only being found in the jungle, which is really rare and you don't get a count out of them anymore, so they literally do nothing. Have you ever wanted to find a stronghold but it just takes too many eyes and you just can't seem to find it? Well, I bring you the solution to your problem, which is called a calculator. Now when you use this, you need to line up your crosshair on the left side of the middle of the eye like this. Once you have lined it up correctly, you have to click F3 plus C, which gets your exact position, which is how it's calculated. Now, it's not going to be 100% unless it's really close, so to make it 100%, you need to just throw another eye at a different spot, just like this. Here's an example of me doing it, and if you would like to use this calculator, I've left a link to download it in the comments. Snapshot 23W03A was just released, and we are finally, after a whole month, seeing some progress towards 1.20. Now, there is no way it should have taken a month to come out because there's no new items, no new blocks, no new mobs, and now that I'm thinking about it, there is no new nothing. Now, there are two changes that are important to know because we are seeing some improvement. When your screen shakes when you take damage, it's supposed to shake in the direction you took it from, which they are finally implementing. The other thing they did is finally got rid of the worst setting in Minecraft. Everyone knows about the pain of auto jump, and they finally made it off by default. Music discs are one of the hardest items to get in Minecraft. Have you ever wanted to obtain all 15 but found it way too hard to get them? Now, one of the more efficient ways of getting music discs is from making a skeleton kill a creeper for a random disc. Now that is good, but most people don't know about the music disc farm that you can get all the overworld discs in no time at all. If you have a skeleton light a TNT and it kills the creeper, it drops a disc. So if you set up a door trap for a skeleton, spend a night trapping creepers in a chamber like this, have the skeleton shoot at you with lava in front of it, you will get a farm of all the music discs. There is a way to enter the nether with no iron or diamonds. You might think I'm lying, but just hear me out. To do this, you're going to need doors, some non-solid blocks like gravel or sand, any type of wood, and a deep lava magma ravine. You need to find a 2x1 magma block formation, get yourself onto the side of it, and the crucial part is looking at the targeted block Y level, which needs to be 5 or below. Once you have all this, place your non-solid block to make the Y level 6, get yourself inside of your contraption, place 2 blocks on each side like this, place a block against the door with a door on top of it, place another block against the door like this, get the final door on the one next to you, let the water come in and break everything. Here is a sped up version of me doing it in one go so you can see how it should look. The dead coral fan is one of the best items and the reason might surprise you. Now, coral by itself is only used for decoration, which are nice, but they're super rare, so going out to find some isn't a top priority. But the dead coral fan can be used for a lot of things such as duplication glitches. One of the more popular glitches it's used for is the carpet duper for infinite fuel, which is almost a must-have while playing in a world. But the best uses for it is duplicating TNT, which is almost game-breaking. Whether you want to ruin someone's day by destroying their nice house or mass mine areas for diamonds, the dead coral fan is a must-have for its unique abilities. The furthest you can jump in Minecraft isn't a 4-block jump. Most people think the 4-block jump is the furthest you can do, but that's completely wrong. Now obviously you can use things to speed you up like ice, or just use head hitters to make yourself jump really far, but that's not what I'm talking about. You can perform a 5-block jump with nothing other than jumping. Now most people will use momentum jumps to get further doing parkour, which is exactly how this is performed. If you let yourself gain enough momentum and angle yourself perfectly, you can get a 5-block jump with nothing than just the W key. The biggest 1.20 snapshot of Minecraft was just released. This snapshot has completely changed armor and the cosmetics of Minecraft. There are 12 new items called armor trims, with 11 of them being cosmetic and one of them being used for the new netherite system. In total, there are 660 different combinations, with each trim doing a different pattern and materials being the color for them. You can find cosmetic trims in a pillager outpost, a desert temple, a shipwreck, a jungle temple, an ocean monument, an ancient city, a woodland mansion, a fortress, a bastion, a stronghold, and an inn city. The netherite upgrade can be found in a bastion, and if you find a treasure, it's guaranteed to spawn in the bottom chest. You can also duplicate them if you already have one with 7 diamonds and the block it correlates with. You can move 147 blocks per second in survival Minecraft. Now most people just sprint jump when playing and call it good enough, but obviously you could move much faster. If you do head hitters, you can move pretty fast, and add ice and some trapdoors, you move really fast, but you run out of hunger. But this isn't even close to the fastest speed. But before you can get to it, you need 2 enchants. You need to have Soul Speed 3 and Depth Strider 3 on your boots, and then make a tunnel like this. Now you can put dolphins on the side or put them on a lead to make it stay with you, and you can now say you're traveling at 147 blocks per second. Lava can actually save you from fall damage. Now most people just use the water bucket to stop all fall damage, but you can't do that in the nether. This is one of the biggest predicaments in all of Minecraft. Now most people just use boats or just pray they don't die, but you can use lava with no fire resistance with one little trick called the lava blip. Before you do this, you're going to need to get yourself a fake lava bucket, which can be done by simply grabbing it as soon as you look at it. Now once you have your fake lava, just hold forward against a wall and place the bucket under your feet for no fall damage. You can survive the /kill command in survival Minecraft. The kill command is the strongest weapon in the game, instantly killing any mob or entity within 1 second. Now the command does an unlimited amount of damage, so giving yourself a lot of absorption won't save you from it, but there is a way to survive. Now if we go back to when it was first added, it actually only did 1,000 hearts of damage, which is how you can survive it. By giving yourself a lot of resistance, you can survive almost anything. So if you give yourself resistance 5 and do the kill command, you will live. Here are 5 Minecraft tips that everyone should know. If you want to find a mansion, instead of flying around like a noob, you can trade with a cartographer for a map with a mansion on it. If you are in the nether looking for a bastion, you can turn your entity distance to 500% and go to 30 FOV and look for spikes of 40+. If you're in the bottom of a treasure bastion, you can build a little bridge like this and throw gold on it so piglins won't attack you. If you enter a stronghold and want to find the portal room, you can change your FOV to 30 and entity distance 50% with this pie chart open and find it by refreshing for a big spike. Finally, if you are waiting for the dragon to perch, you can actually bow the crystals to make the dragon have a 1 in 3 chance of perching instead of a 1 in 13. The best weapon in Minecraft nobody knows about. Now when I say firework, what do you think of? Well, you're probably saying it's for elytra boosting, duh. Well, that is true, but since the firework became one of the most useful items when the elytra was added, its other use isn't known. You can use fireworks to load crossbows to do damage, but only 2.5 hearts. So why is it the best item in the game? Well, if you make a maxed out firework, it does 8.5 hearts, which is insane. But that's not it. You don't have to directly hit the player, and with multi-shot, you can practically not miss, making it take 3 seconds to instantly kill a stacked player. This is the weirdest seed in Minecraft. Now, there are many reasons why this seed is absolutely crazy. First, you spawn next to an eroded badlands, which is like one of the rarest biomes in the game. The cave you spawn in has dirt right here at your normal Y0 classic. But this isn't the weirdest thing about this seed. You spawn on a ruined portal, which actually is so low that it breaks the bedrock underneath it, which is super rare. Now, to make it even better, the chest comes with a pickaxe, so if you dig right here, you can fall into the void. Meaning that in normal survival, you can get the rarest death in under 10 seconds. So today I did a Minecraft mob tier list, so let's review it. All the D tier mobs are just terrible, but have something that you can get from it like a trident. C tier mobs are just pets, and hoglins have pork, so that's cool. B tier mobs have good items that come from them, and A tier mobs are very good, but just not S. Now the first 3 F tier mobs do nothing, and the rest are just annoying, with the ghast being the worst mob in the game. Now the S tier mobs, Villager has trades, amazing. The Shulker has Shulker boxes, amazing. The Piglins trade for speed running, wonderful. The Mushroom has all these things, wonderful. And the Brown Mushroom, the best mob in the game, has all the things that the Mushroom has, and Suspicious too, the absolute god of all Minecraft mobs. Today I've ranked random things in Minecraft. The best village is easily the Plains village. It has lots of wheat, has carrots, potatoes, and beetroot, and the best houses. The only one that is close is the Spruce village because of the chests. Best passive mob is Brown Mushroom, and the best hostile mob is the Creeper. And if you think anything else, grow up. Best PvP is easily 1.8. If you think New Age PvP is the best, you are under the age of 10. Finally, the best dimension is the End. Now it has experience from the dragon, best gear from In-Cities, shulker boxes, elytras, and the dragon egg. Definitely the best no matter what you say. The fishing rod is a top 15 item in Minecraft. Now you should know about fishing because it's a fishing rod, come on. Which yes, you can get things like saddles, but most importantly you can get enchanted books. But it has more uses than just fishing. It can be used to pull entities like shulkers, it can pull players, and also pull prime TNT and TNT minecarts, making them really handy. But most people don't know this for some reason, but you can use a fishing rod to pull items. Which yeah, it's not that common that you'll need to pull an item, but it can be very much useful. Also, back in 1.8 PvP, you use fishing rods to knock back players for combos. The biggest letdowns in all of Minecraft. Now the monument had the biggest potential for a boss structure, with it having 3 mini bosses inside of it, all giving you mining fatigue, and the underwater dynamic makes it pretty hard to defeat it all the way through. But it only gives you gold and sponges, which you can get without killing the bosses. The Wandering Trader could have been insane, giving you super unique items, but instead it gives you things like saplings. The mansion is very cool and big with unique rooms, which I will say is pretty cool, but I feel like for thousands of blocks you have to travel to find it, the best reward is a diamond block and a totem, which you can just get from a raid, so like it's useless. One of the best structures is super common and not talked about enough. Now the Desert Temple has changed throughout the years, but has never been anything less than immaculate. Now the temple holds a plethora of really good things such as bones for bone meal, enchanted books, god apples, and that's just the mid-tier loot. The best things a temple has is 9 TNT, which is just useful for so many reasons. But the best thing a temple has to offer is gunpowder. Now gunpowder is one of the most handy things in the game, making TNT for mass destruction and most importantly for fireworks. So before you make your massive gunpowder farm, temples are the best structure for efficiency. Here are some helpful tools to use while playing Minecraft. Chunk-based seed map will give you a full map of the seed you're on, showing you things like biomes and structures. It's very good if you're lazy, but a lot of people think it's cheating. Ninja Brain Bot is a calculator that will instantly calculate where the stronghold is, so you don't have to throw hundreds of eyes to find it. It also will tell you if you're at good blind coordinates in the nether. This website will calculate the coordinates you need to go to get a shulker onto the end gateway. Finally, this map will help you route bastions without brutes so you can practice and get really fast like this. This block nobody knows about, and here's why. Everyone knows that fortresses are made up of nether bricks, which can be obtained from smelting netherrack. Now there is also red nether bricks, which is made from nether brick and nether wart, which is a good subtle red to use in builds. But did you know about cracked nether bricks, which is just nether brick with this crack kind of like stone bricks? There's also chiseled nether bricks, which should be in fortresses now because they add such a nice touch. Since they don't naturally spawn, my idea to implement them is to do it in an abandoned fortress, kind of like the abandoned village, with the cracked with maybe some good loot in it. 5 Minecraft tips that every beginner needs to know. When entering a temple, always go onto the pressure plate to unlock the secret room for a diamond block. Always make sure to set your spawn not only in the overworld but the nether and the end so you don't lose your portal. Make sure to kill zombie piglin because they make piglins run away so you can't trade with them. Always wear Curse of Binding armor because it makes your armor more connected to you so it's stronger. And finally, try to run around these sensors as much as possible to get mass amounts of experience. This is every mod transformation in Minecraft. To start, here are all the channeling thunder transformations. A villager turns into a witch, a mushroom turns into a brown mushroom, a pig turns into a zombie pigman, and a creeper turns into a supercharged creeper. Now, all the water transformations, which a zombie becomes a drowned, a husk turns into a zombie, and when in powdered snow, a skeleton turns into a stray. A zombie villager can be turned into a villager by using weakness and a golden apple. A mushroom can be sheared, and a piglin and piglin brute also turn into zombie pigmen. And finally, the hoglin turns into a zoglin, and that's every single one. Archaeology is coming to Minecraft in 1.20. Today, Minecraft announced its biggest feature coming to 1.20, and here's what you have to know. There are new pottery shards that have different designs on them, which when 4 of them are combined, they make a pot. In this screenshot, you can see the first look at a new block called Suspicious Sand, which you need to brush carefully. Here you can see a new structure which looks to only have pots in it, but could be a new dungeon to explore. They are also adding the brush, which will be used to extract things in the sand. Let me know what you think about this update and what do you think is to come. How to kill every strong mob in Minecraft. Now the bosses are really easy. The dragon can be killed with 4 beds with the 1 cycle. The wither can be killed in the end by spawning it under the bedrock. The warden is the hardest but can be killed while naked. All you need to do is build up 3 blocks and 1 on the side like this and place your bed so you can kill the warden kinda like this. The iron golem is super easy, only needing to build up 3 blocks. The hoglin and ravager also need to build up 3 blocks with some lava. Finally, the illusioner can be hard because of all the illusions he spawns, but if you light him on fire, you can tell what's the real one, so killing it is very easy. Useful tips to mine weird blocks in Minecraft. If you encounter any falling block, you can just place a torch under it to break all of the blocks. If you need cactus, instead of just punching them, you can place a block next to them to break them instantly. Hay bales are so good to have for mass amounts of bread, and to quickly break them, you can just use a hoe to insta-break them. If you place a cactus down and place a fence next to it, it can't grow, being really useful for farms. This can also be done with sugarcane with an observer piston system. Ancient debris mining is a pain, but to do it effectively, just strip mine at Y15 and place TNT expose all debris. The most forgotten item in Minecraft is super common. When you think of the 400 items that are in Minecraft, you would never think of it. Now this item you probably don't even know what it is. It's called a pop chorus fruit, which is chorus fruit just smelted. Now it's forgotten because who smelts chorus fruit, and it's not all that useful. You can use it for 2 crafts, which are the purple block, which can literally just be mined at in-city, so no real point in crafting them. And the other craft is in rods, which can also just be mined in cities, so might as well just keep forgetting about them. There is a new biome coming in Minecraft 1.20. Minecraft is going to release a cherry blossom biome in the new update soon to be released. In this biome, we can see some pink flowers built into the terrain with brand new cherry blossom trees. These have a nice pink look to them, with it being the first bright colored wood. The biome will have pigs, sheep, bees, and the brand new mob, the sniffer. This is the last reveal for the 1.20 update, which I think is one of the best features added in a long time. Let me know what you think about this new biome and what other things will be added. Snapshot 23W07A has added a ton of new stuff that you need to know about. To start, they added suspicious sand, which spawns in desert temples and desert wells, which you need to dig to find. They added the brush, which you use to extract items like shards, emeralds, and gunpowder. They also added the pottery shards, which can only be found in suspicious sand, which can be used to make pots. They are very easy to break, and if you want to move the pot, just use your fist. The sniffer has been added, which can't naturally spawn or be tamed. They are breeded by using the new torch flower seeds that grow into torch flowers. Finally, they added the cherry blossom biome, which has the new cherry log and pink petals that are spread across it. It looks amazing in game. This is definitely one of the best releases in a long time. A new PvP method was just discovered. Have you ever found yourself running away at low HP and all you can think to do is build up? Well, there is a new method. Now, when you wear leather boots, you can walk on powdered snow, making it very useful to have on hand. Well, if you place powdered snow down, it acts like a block, and with the leather boots, you can jump on it. So if you have 2 powdered snow buckets, you can build up with them and then pick up the powdered snow infinitely. So if you practice building up with the buckets, you can get really fast at it while the person following you can't get to you. What's the rarest block in Minecraft history? Things like mossy cobblestone used to be insanely rare. Back in the old days, it was only found in dungeons, which aren't very common, and there's no way to find them other than randomly coming across them. But now you can just craft them with vines and cobblestone, so they aren't very rare anymore. But the rarest block in history is the chiseled stone, which before 1.8 could only be found in jungle temples, which only had 3 of them. Jungles are super rare, making jungle temples even rarer, and you only get 3, meaning if you wanted to use some of these, you would need a lot of temples. But now you can just craft them, so who cares? What's the best wood in Minecraft? Now, I will not include the newly added cherry blocks, otherwise I think they would win. Now to start, I'll just get the worst wood out of the way, which is easily birch. Now, if we were comparing just logs, birch is a pretty good looking log, but the wood itself only looks good when combined with other blocks. Now, most people will say oak because, well, when you think of Minecraft, you think of the grass block, crafting table, pickaxe, and oak log. But honestly, I put it at 3rd best because I like 2 others more. At number 2, I have dark oak because I think they are very nice to look at and they have the best door variation. But the best wood in Minecraft is spruce. It has the best color to it and looks the best for builds and takes the cake for all woods. Diamonds are so much better than netherite, and here's why. But before the nerds in the comments say, well, actually they mine things faster and have better protection, I'm not talking about actual usability. Now, first off, diamond armor just looks better and there is no arguing that. Running around in full diamond has that good feeling to it, and seeing it makes you know that someone is stacked. When I look at netherite, I just think nothing of it, and it's kind of just boring to look at. Also, you need diamonds to use netherite, which makes it that much better. Like, who would want to run around in that nasty looking netherite armor when you could be wearing shiny diamond armor? What's the best structure in Minecraft? There are some pretty good ones such as shipwrecks, villages, and mansions, but not the best in the game. At number 3, I have a buried treasure, which is technically a structure. It's an upgraded shipwreck that you can find at the start of a world that has guaranteed food. At number 2, I have End Cities, which is a really hot take. I think End Cities have the best overall loot, but I don't think they're the best structure. It's at the end of the game, and unless you are good, you are already going to be stacked when you beat the Ender Dragon. Now, the best structure in the game is the Bastion. Yes, the Bastion. I think it has the best loot table for when you explore it. You can also trade all the gold you get with the piglins for an even more expanded loot table, making it the best overall. Here are some items I hope to get updated in the 1.20 update. First off, screw is an item that is a mystery. Like, who even knows how to get it? And it does nothing other than a turtle helmet, which isn't good, like water breathing. Wow. Amethyst is a very cool item, which I think has a lot of potential with maybe some armor or some cool building blocks, but right now all it does is make a worse Optifine zoom. Finally, if you play Minecraft, you are going to agree with this one, but copper is the only mineral to really not do anything. It can make the new brush coming, a spyglass, and a lightning rod, which are all pretty poop, so hopefully in the 1.20 update, they add new features and things for these to get some use. What's the fastest you can move vertically? Now, I'm talking about straight up and down, so the fastest staircase doesn't count for this. Now, first up, the fastest anything can go up and down is an arrow fully charged straight down, which moves 100 blocks per second. But for a player to go down the fastest, you just fall. Yes, there's no faster way to move down, which when you're at max speed, you are falling at 40 blocks per second. Now, for the fastest way to go vertical, it isn't a ladder or swimming up, but it's using soul sand. Yes, when you place soul sand under sources of water, it pushes you up and moves you at an insane pace. While in this tunnel, you are moving at 11 blocks per second, making it the fastest way to go vertical. Here are some of the best seeds in Minecraft history. This seed right here allows you to kill the warden in 1 minute and 12 seconds because of the spawn point and the dripstone far up to kill him. In this seed, there is a huge cave at spawn, which allows you to spawn on top of the ancient city portal. If you've ever wanted to see how fast you can get post-mortal, this seed allows you to get it in 4 seconds. All you have to do is make the golem kill the evoker and hit the iron golem to immediately get it. If you go to these coordinates on this seed, it has 4 netherite ingots, 23 gold blocks, 8 iron ingots, and an enchanted golden apple inside of the bottom treasure chests. Finally, in the end on this seed, there is a broken exit portal which makes it impossible to beat the game. Here are some tips to make your nether experience faster. While in the treasure part of the fortress, to find the well, you need to go up every staircase and down the netherwort staircases, and if you see any ledges, you need to go to the direction it's pointing. When at a blaze spawner, you should do a trick called a blaze bed so that blazes spawn the fastest. There's a lot of them, but the best one is to place 3 blocks right here and place the bed and break. When traveling in the nether, make sure to have a piece of gold armor on so piglins won't harm you. While in the bastion, you should learn where all the gold is to trade for fire resistance and pearls. Finally, when you enter the nether, make sure to hang a pearl at the portal so when you're done, you can up your render distance to go back home. This is why gold is the best mineral in Minecraft. Now, first of all, gold gear is really good because gold is very easy to get, being obtained from mining, bastions, ruined portals, monuments, and other chests. Gold armor also looks pretty good and allows you to not get hit by piglins. You can make gold nuggets, golden apples, golden carrots, glistering melons, clocks, bells, powered rails, and most importantly, gold blocks with it. You can use it to trade with piglins, which gives you all this stuff, which is super nice to be able to do. And the best thing it can do is make a beacon for effects, so you can be super efficient while doing whatever you need to. What's the best biome in Minecraft? Well, it's the most common biome in the game, which is obviously the ocean. Now, the ocean holds 4 structures in it, with those being monuments, shipwrecks, ocean ruins, and ruined portals, which contain all this stuff in them, but the highlights of these are gold blocks, iron, enchanted golden apples, and the most important, tridents and nautilus shells. On top of this all, you can find huge caves for easy diamond mining, or any ore for that matter. It also is the best way to travel on land except for nether travel, and if you get a dolphin, it becomes even faster. Also, it makes up 25% of the world on average, making it the most accessible biome in the game. Answering some of Minecraft's biggest questions. First is how to get scoop, because it seems like nobody knows how to get it. Well, you can get scoop by breeding 2 turtles, and one will drop when the baby that hatches out of the egg grows up, the conduit. Well, it's an item that is crafted from using 8 nautilus shells and a heart of the sea, which needs to be placed underwater with a box around it like this. It gives you water breathing, which is very useful for doing things underwater. How to get cobwebs? Well, it's very simple. Instead of using a sword to break them, you use some shears with silk touch on them. Finally, how to make suspicious stew. This is quite easy, just make regular mushroom stew with the flour of the effect you want in it. The best way to find every mineral in Minecraft. First off, copper can be found in every cave, being super common, so just go into a cave. Iron is also very common in caves, but some other fast ways to get it are making iron golem farms using villagers and bastions with iron blocks in them. Now, gold has a lot of different ways to get it, like mining, in chests, monuments, but the best way to get it is obviously bastions, with an average of 20 gold blocks in them. Diamonds are pretty rare, but the best way to locate them are in ocean caves to instantly get to the low depths, and in cities which have diamonds in the chests commonly. Finally, emeralds, which are the hardest to find but can be gotten by trading with villagers, with the easiest trade being 32 sticks for an emerald using a Fletcher. Here are some hidden features that blocks have in Minecraft. Now, when you think of secret features, you're immediately going to think of using obsidian for the nether portal, iron to spawn an iron golem, and using soul sand and wither skulls to spawn the wither. But there are many lesser known secrets, such as a campfire under a beehive to make the bees make honey. Now, the conduit is pretty rare because you need 8 nautilus shells, which only have a 3% chance of spawning in a drowned's hands. But if you surround it with the monument blocks, you can get conduit power, which makes underwater stuff faster. Now, the last secret that you may not know is using ink crystals. Now, most people use them to PvP, but if you place them on each side of the fountain, it will respawn the dragon, making you forced to fight again. The bucket is the best item in Minecraft. Now, the bucket normally sits in everyone's hotbar with some water in it and might occasionally be used to save yourself from fall damage, but it's much better than just that. On top of that, water can also be used to climb up things, navigate lava caves, and save yourself from endermen. But a bucket can also carry lava in it, which can be used to smell 100 items, but a lava bucket carries the nether adventure as well. You can use it to kill hoglins for food, kill piglin brutes, and even prevent fall damage using the lava blip. And it only costs 3 iron, meaning it's one of the first crafts of a world and is used until the end. Have you ever wanted to get the achievement Star Trader? Well, here's how to get it easily. First, to get this achievement, you need to trade with a villager while above Y18. Well, this can be abused because of the fact that the villager doesn't need to be above that, only your character does. So to get this, you're going to need a twisted vine, bone meal, and 2 ender pearls. So first, trap a villager that you're going to trade with in a hole and place the vine and bone meal it until it reaches max height. Make a platform for yourself above 318, then throw a pearl down to the villager, and while it's falling, throw one above. Once you land on the ground, open the menu and wait for the second pearl to land, and there you go. Have you ever wanted to get Uneasy Alliance? Well, here's how to do it easily. Uneasy Alliance is achieved by killing a ghast wall in the overworld, which means the ghast doesn't need to be in the overworld, only your character does. To do this, you're going to need 10 obsidian, a fishing rod, and a piece of TNT. Once you find a ghast, you want to hit it with the pickaxe to lower its health and get it on a fishing rod. Go to 2RD to unload the ghast and pull the fishing rod, making sure that it goes on the flat terrain. Place your TNT where the ghast will end up, build your portal, and go through to load the overworld. Then go back through it into the portal again and light the TNT like this. Right before you go to the overworld, raise your render distance so the ghast loads into the TNT for Uneasy Alliance. Have you ever wanted to transport 2 mobs together but they were super far away from each other? Well, this nether portal trick will transport them together in under a minute. Let's use pandas for this example. Let's say you want to breed pandas for 2x2 but they spawn far away from each other. Instead of holding bamboo so they follow you, go to the first one and put it in a boat. Build a nether portal and load its nether and place a boat. Now put the panda through the portal and go to your second panda and put it in a boat as well. Put it through the portal and enter the same portal, and they should link, making the pandas together to breed. Here are some of the most underappreciated items in Minecraft. First off is cake. Back when you first started playing, this is one of the most fun things to play around with, and even though it kind of sucks for food, I think having it just sit outside a window is really nice. Milk is very much overlooked, but can be super handy when exploring the ocean because of mining fatigue and removing other effects. Quartz are something that not only looks good in builds, but craft things like daylight sensors, comparators, and most importantly, observers. And finally, the most underappreciated item, obsidian. Now, obsidian can make things like the enchanting table and ender chest, which are good, but its best feature is making nether portals, which is essential for any Minecraft world. What's the best enchantment in Minecraft? Well, most people will say mending because it allows you to pretty much never lose your gear, so it's pretty essential to playing the game. But others might say something like looting because you get a lot of stuff from it, or maybe unbreaking. Now, unbreaking is pretty much mending, just a little worse. Unbreaking obviously makes your stuff lose less durability per use, but won't recover your items when they break. But the best enchantment is Curse of Binding. Now, Curse of Binding allows your armor to become super powerful, being able to survive the warden in leather armor. Now, for me, I like to have a pumpkin on my head with it because it makes yourself look cool and you get night vision. What's the most damage you can take from a mob in Minecraft? Well, you might think it's the Ender Dragon because, well, it's the final boss, but it's only number 11 on the list. Now, Warden is a pretty good guess, but it's actually the 5th most damage dealing mob. But at number 3, we have the Giant, which I know isn't in normal survival, but it does 13 hearts of damage on easy and 37.5 hearts on hard. At number 2, we have the Wither Birth Explosion, which does 17 hearts of damage on easy and 51 hearts on hard. So this is why you always want to stand back when he spawns in. Now at number 1, we have the Supercharged Creeper, which does 21 hearts of damage on easy and 63 hearts of damage on hard. How to loot every bastion in under 2 minutes. First, we have housing. You're going to break the chest and run over to the double chest and block yourself in. Mine a staircase and let the penguins follow you and start to mine the gold. Once you mine all the gold, block them in and grab the trades. Next, we have bridge. The first thing you do is mine the chalice and get up to the side. Build a connecting bridge and mine a gold block for the penguins to go into a hole. Loot the chests and then grab the trades. Now we have stables. Mine into the top of the staircase and anger the piglins. Block behind yourself, make a hole for them, and go mine the gold. Mine the other gold in the corner and give it to them, and then grab the trades. Last, we have treasure. Mine the blocks on the bridge, go up the staircase, and let all the piglins in the hole. Mine the other blocks on the other side and go back and drop it in the hole. Finally, grab the trades and you're done with every bastion. What's the best enchantments for every item in Minecraft? First off, the sword is Smite 5, Unbreaking 3, Looting 3, Fire Aspect 2, and Mending. Now, Smite is much better than Sharpness in a survival world, but if you play in PvP, get Sharpness. All the tools are the same, with the best being Efficiency 5, Unbreaking 3, Fortune 3, and Mending. Now, you should also have one tool that has Silk Touch on it for things you might need to Silk Touch on your adventures. Now, for every armor piece, you need to put Protection 4, Unbreaking 3, and Mending. But for the helmet, you need to add Respiration 3 and Aqua Affinity. For the boots, you need to add Feather Falling 4 and Depth Strider 3. You need to know about the new release of 1.19.4 and its new features. In this update, they added a lot of things, but some of the more important ones are horse breeding changes. Instead of averaging the possible value it could have, now the baby is based upon the average of the parents' attributes, making breeding horses a whole lot better. They added an entirely new Create New World screen, which makes a lot more sense to navigate for newer players. They changed the colors of potions to make them more distinct from one another and remove the enchantment glint they used to have. Now finally, one of the better changes that they made is being able to swap between an elytra and armor from just equipping it. This makes running around and switching 10 times easier. You do not know about these secret items in Minecraft. Now, if you played Minecraft for a while, you will know that a barrier block and command block can only be obtained through commands. But did you know about the structure void block, which is like a barrier block, but you can move through it? The Illusioner is the most overpowered mob in Minecraft, but also can only be spawned in through commands. They just added the /ride command, which allows you to ride any mob in the game. But the best thing you could spawn in with commands is the debug stick, which allows you to do anything. You can change the state of any block, making for weird things like floating ladders, so be careful making sure the wrong people don't get it. Did you know the fastest hardcore speedrun is under 10 minutes? Well, hardcore is the hardest difficulty in Minecraft, making things like blazes two-shot you, making it impressive when you have worlds of long time. But to speedrun a world with no intent of playing safe and just trying to beat it as fast as possible is another challenge. But Nebula SR on May 1st, 2022 achieved the first ever sub 10 with a time of 9 minutes and 58 seconds, being the first to ever do it. They entered the Nether at 1 minute and 50 seconds, getting to the Bastion at 3 minutes and 4 seconds, with the first Blaze Rod being gotten at 5 minutes and 28 seconds, only having a 2 minute and 24 second split between. The first portal is built at 6:01 and the enter time at 9 minutes and 59 seconds. Now they end off the run with the strat called a zero cycle, which allows you to kill the dragon before it perches. You probably know by now, but there are 5 different villages in Minecraft. But what is the best village? Today I will rank all 5 in order from worst to best. Now at number 5 we have the Snowy Village. It has the worst chests, worst food, and is the rarest, making it the worst by far. At number 4 we have the Desert Village. It has everything the other villages have, just lacks wood, so finding it early is very annoying to use. At number 3 we have the Savannah Village. It has the worst chests than the Desert Village, just blowing up a Savannah house gives you tons of wood. At number 2 we have the Plains Village, which just falls short of being the best. So at number 1 we have the Spruce Village, which has the best basic chest and is more common to have blacksmiths, making it easily number 1. You probably know that Minecraft houses are a staple in the game. Some people go all out and build mansions like this, while others build dirt homes because they are cool. But someone like me doesn't like to spend time building a nice house. I like to do things outside of the house. So I build the most optimal house in the game, which is the 2x2 house. It has everything you could possibly need and takes very little time to build. Now in this base you have every station that you can need, a farm, and can all be accessed from this corner. Now here's me building it sped up because I know you're going to want to build this masterpiece of a base. Here are all the tree types ranked in order. At number 10 we have the birch tree. This is just because look at it. At number 9 we have the oak tree. It has a good log, but as a tree it's pretty basic. At number 8 we have the azalea tree. It's pretty much an oak tree, just a little cooler. At number 7 we have the acacia tree. It's very unique, but I just think the others outdo it. At number 6 we have the dark oak tree. The color of the log with the massive tree itself just hits. At number 5 we have the spruce tree. Not the normal spruce tree, but the mega spruce tree. At number 4 we have the jungle tree. It almost makes top 3, but just not quite there. At number 3 we have the mangrove tree. It's an upgraded jungle tree, so it gets top 3. At number 2 we have the fungi tree. The color is really nice on both and is unique. At number 1 we have the cherry blossom tree. Just the best color tree and the best log, just easily number 1. You probably know villagers are an essential while playing Minecraft, so here's a top 5 villager ranking. At number 5 I have the fisherman. Now although its trades aren't the best, one of its level 1 trades is 3 emeralds for a bucket of cod. So early game this is useful because you get an iron pickaxe and water bucket guaranteed. At number 4 I have the weaponsmith. Now it offers less diamond tools than the toolsmith, but you can reset the iron sword enchants at level 1, making it better. At number 3 I have the armorer. It offers full diamond at max, so it just tops all the others. At number 2 I have the Fletcher. Now the Fletcher itself isn't that good, but it has the 32 stick trade, which is how you best farm emeralds, making it essential for any other villager. Now at number 1 I have the librarian. It gives you any enchant you want by just resetting it. Like, come on, this is a no-brainer number 1. You probably know by now, but you can trade with piglins by giving them gold. But what's the best version to trade with them? Now, 119 the trades are pretty bad. The best things you could pull are ender pearls and fire resistance, but they have terrible odds. Ender pearls have a 2% chance of getting 2 to 4 of them, and fire resistance has a 1% chance of getting 1 of them. So the best version of trade with piglins is 116.1. It has the best odds for the best things you can get. Ender pearls have a 4% chance of getting 4 to 8 of them, fire res has a 2% chance of trading, and obsidian has a 10% chance of getting 1 of them. This is why speedrunners play on 116.1 because it has the best odds. You need to stop overlooking these underrated things in Minecraft. Beehives on the surface seem like a useless block, but they are super useful. You can farm honey from bees using this setup, which can be used for honey blocks, which are very handy for farms. Swamps are an overlooked biome in the game, with it having many uses. You can make witch farms and swamps with huts for all this useful stuff. You can make slime farms without cheating and looking for slime chunks. Ender pearls let you navigate the nether very effectively. Pearl hang to easily get back to places, easily do Star Trader without moving the villager, and is the best way to travel before an elytra. Finally, the desert temple. It gives you lots of early game loot and is the main way to get gunpowder for elytras. You probably have a favorite version in Minecraft. Now, I've been playing since 2013, and over the years, I've come to love certain versions. But what's the best version of Minecraft? Well, each version has something to love about it, so it's kind of hard to pick. But 1.7 is definitely the best for PvP aged Minecraft. Raw tricking was the meta for PvP, you can block it, and overall was the best age for PvP. Now 1.8 is a good combination between PvP and overall features for playing the game. But the greatest version is 1.16, which is the most optimal for speedrunning because the trades are the best, the pie chart still works allowing you to pyrite for fortresses or mobs, and it has a lot of good new age features to it, making it probably the best version of Minecraft. You need to know about the new snapshot that was just released because it's insane. First, they added a new trail ruin which spawns in jungles, taiga, and birch forest. They are pretty much a land ocean ruin that has suspicious sand and suspicious gravel which have 4 new armor trims. They also added suspicious sand and gravel to ocean ruins which can now get the sniffer egg to hatch the sniffer. The sniffer can now sniff up a pitcher pod which can be planted to grow a pitcher crop which looks like this. They added a cool new ancient city trim which looks like this. They added 16 new pottery shards for a total of 20 of them. And finally, they made signs editable after 13 years, and you can also write on the back of them. We need to talk about an item in Minecraft. Now there are great items in Minecraft and there are terrible items in Minecraft, but I have a question. What would you rank the shield in Minecraft? The shield is really good in theory. It blocks projectiles like arrows and blaze fireballs. It stops any sword damage from a player and can even block an axe hit, making it really good for not taking damage. But I feel like nobody uses the shield. When you talk about the top level PvP, people are using ink crystals with no sight of any shield. Personally, I don't use a shield because when you get good armor, it doesn't really matter, and overall it just slows you down. Maybe it gets an upgrade in 1.20? What's the furthest you can throw an ender pearl in Minecraft? The answer might surprise you. Now at base level, you can throw a pearl 54 blocks at maximum, but instantly you can up this distance to 64 blocks with throwing a pearl with a sprint jump. To get maximum distance, you need to throw at an angle of 35. If you count pearl hanging, you could throw a pearl thousands of blocks, but that doesn't really count. But if you want to go maximum distance, you need to make a TNT launcher. Now, if you build this monster of a cannon that uses hundreds of thousands of TNT, it goes 1.7 million blocks per second, landing you millions of blocks away. You may not know these movement things to play Minecraft. Now, people who have played the game for years, I see not doing these things, so here are some tips while playing. First off, in the nether, if you're stuck on a wall and need to go diagonal, instead of breaking 4 blocks, you could break 2 and just move corner to corner. It may be scary if there's lava underneath, but as long as you don't mess it up, you can't die. When you are going upstairs, instead of just going up, spamming jump allows you to go way faster. Anytime, anywhere, doing head hitters will make you go faster, so you can either go under trees or just place them. Finally, the biggest mistake I still see in Minecraft is jumping while having speed 2 on. Speed 1 you jump, speed 2 you don't. You need to hear these random mob tips for Minecraft. If you ever find yourself in a fortress trying to avoid a bunch of wither skeletons, you can place 3 blocks if you're in a tunnel, or place 3 blocks on the edge to punch them off. Now, pigmen can be annoying if you're trying to trade with piglins, but if you one-hit them, they don't aggro onto you, meaning you can trade in peace. If you want to kill phantoms or need to do 2 birds, 1 stone, if you place 2 blocks and put a boat on top, you can trap them very easily. Finally, if you don't know by now, if you place blocks above your head, endermen can attack you, so you can easily kill them. You need to know about these useful websites if you play Minecraft. If you've ever wanted to play with your friends but don't want to pay money or set up a server, you can just use Eternos. It's completely free and has a lot of custom options including plugins and mods. If you ever wanted to know anything in Minecraft, you need to use the Minecraft Wiki. It has very useful information about everything including its changelog, how to get it, and even has things that aren't even in the game anymore. Finally, if you ever have trouble with commands, just use a command generator. They have generators for mobs, villagers, banners, and so much more, very useful if you want something complicated. You need to be using these practice maps to get better at Minecraft. First off, if you suck at 1 cycling, you need to download this practice map to improve your 1 cycles so you can 3+1. If you are scared of bastions and want to improve how to route them, you can download Llama's Bastion practice map. It has lots of settings to help you learn how to navigate a bastion. Finally, if you don't know how to build nether portals effectively, this map will help you with everything. There is regular lava pools, ruined portal practices, and even magma ravine portals. Very useful to help improve your speed while doing tasks in Minecraft. Did you know you can find a buried treasure without having a map? Well, if you use a strat called Mapless, you can identify chunks that have buried treasures in them. To do this, you need a buried treasure around you somewhere, be on 5 render distance, and have your pie chart on root, game renderer, level, entities. Once you have all this, you need to spam open your pie chart for a spike and go towards it. You want to check each side of the chunk to check where the small slices are to go in the opposite direction. Once each side has a big slice, that means you're in the chunk and you need to dig at 9-9. Here's a sped up version of me doing it in one motion so you can see what it's supposed to look like. You have to play the new April Fool's update in Minecraft. First off, they added a voting system that allows players to vote for in-game features. Most of them are just trolls, but still fun to vote for things you might like. Now, the biggest addition to this version is the moon dimension. Now, I'll say it's very cool to play around with. The dimension has moon cows which walk backwards and drop glass, bottles, and cheese. They added cheese, which is what the dimension is made out of, bottle of mushroom and moon cow, which turn you into a mushroom and a moon cow, and potion of big and small. Now, the potion of big makes things big, including yourself, and potion of small makes everything small, with both having 1 and 2 variants. You are sleeping on these Minecraft things. Smite 5 is an enchant that nobody uses but is super useful. It allows you to one-shot zombie pigmen so they don't get mad, and most importantly wither skeletons, which allows you to farm skulls. The mule is a mod that no one uses but is almost as fast as a horse and can hold chests like a donkey, having the fastest traveling chest carrier. The twisted vine found in the nether allows you to prevent fall damage while roaming the nether and allows for easy sky access for things like Star Trader. Finally, the stronghold is usually found at the end of the game, but finding it early is super useful because of the libraries. The libraries give you books for level 30 enchants, and in the chests have really good books and paper for fireworks. Every way to stop fall damage in the nether. First off, you have the easiest way, which is the boat, which you can either row down or try and place it in clutch. You have the very simple slime block clutch, which is super easy to pull off as well. Next, we have throwing an ender pearl, which you still do take damage, but you won't die. Then you have the bucket of powdered snow clutch, which is the closest to an MLG you can get in the nether. Now you have the hoglin clutch, which is very iffy because sometimes the hoglin won't hit you in time. Finally, the hardest clutch, the lava blip method, which uses fake lava to break your fall. You can mine an entire chunk in 7 minutes. Well, this is true while playing this seed and going to this chunk, which has a lot of it already mined out for you. But how do you mine the rest of the chunk so fast? Well, the key to mining a chunk fast is moss. Yes, a block that majority of people don't even use is the best way to mine a chunk. This is because if you bone meal a moss block, it turns the block around it into moss, which can be quickly mined with the hoe. So with that being said, runner VEP33 uses TNT and mines out bone blocks for lots of bone meal to efficiently mine out the rest of the chunk in just 7 minutes and 21 seconds. You need to start getting into these habits in Minecraft. First off, when you build your house or find something useful, instead of just building a tall tower next to it, just click F3C, which copies your location in your clipboard so you can paste it somewhere to find later. Next, for people who go on trips and just spam click everything in, I personally hate you. Just sort your things out, like you can do things based off categories or just have a clean organization skill like this shulker. Finally, stop building portals with 14 obsidian, you only need 10. Who cares if the corners are missing? Just place some black concrete and call it good enough. Do you know all these block transformations in Minecraft? First, the most commonly known one, water and lava combining to make either stone or obsidian depending on which one goes on top. Next is placing coral on land and it becomes dead coral, which is coral just dried up. If you build, you are going to use concrete because it looks the best, but to get it you need concrete powder, which then needs to be placed in water to harden it into concrete. Finally, if you use a water bottle on dirt, it turns into mud, which is not that known, but even lesser known, if you place mud on top of dripstone, it turns into clay. You need to be utilizing these game mechanics while playing Minecraft. First off, if you find a mob that you want to keep but don't have a name tag to stop it from despawning, you can put it in a boat and no matter what, it won't despawn, and if it's hostile, you can move it easier. Once you find a nice base location, you should run around it with lots of maps and place them on a wall for a good visual representation of your surrounding area. Finally, when you find yourself in the bottom of a treasure to mine the gold blocks, you need to build a little bridge like this and throw gold on it so when the piglins drop, they try and grab the gold and don't hurt you. Some of Mojang's biggest trolls in Minecraft. First off, the jungle temple and desert temple literally hurt you and they were supposed to give you stuff and be friendly. Next, we have the two red enchants, which are Curse of Binding and Curse of Vanishing. Now, Curse of Vanishing is a little better because in multiplayer, it's nice so no one gets your stuff. But Curse of Binding literally does nothing. No special effects, no armor boost, just makes it to where you can't take off an armor piece until you die. So a hardcore player's worst nightmare. Finally, ruined portal chests having Fortune 3 pickaxes. Now you might think this is just normal, but gold pickaxes can't mine anything to use the fortune. So if you get this pickaxe early, just use it to get a stone pickaxe. I just created the best escape armor in Minecraft. Now the boots have 3 enchants which all serve different purposes. Now the first question that comes to mind is why Frostwalker 1 and not 2? While Frostwalker 2 makes ice stay longer behind you, so it's easier to follow you than Frostwalker 1. Now this is meant for going on lakes or small water areas because in an ocean, a boat is faster. If you're in the nether and need to escape, you have Soul Speed 3 to run fast in Soul Sand valleys. Feather Falling 4 allows you to not only take reduced fall damage when jumping off things, but also less pearl damage, which allows you to throw more pearls before eating. Now finally, why is it on leather boots, you may ask? Well, if you find yourself in a snow biome, you can walk over everything freely without worrying about falling into snowy traps. You might, throughout playing Minecraft, have built mob farms such as the most common Enderman farm. Now, farms are good for XP, loot from the mob, and not making you have to go manually farm. But I don't see enough people using spawners for farms. Now, I get that most of the time when you find one they are far, but just bring Silk Touch with you. Maybe people don't know by now, but if you mine a spawner with Silk Touch, it gives it to you, and if you right-click the spawner, it'll give you the spawn egg. This makes having farms really nice, and if you go farm a lot of spawners, you can have mega farms like these. Next time you see a Silk Touch book, make sure you're grabbing it. You may know that mansions are the rarest structure in Minecraft, but there is one thing that everyone questions, which is why. Now the mansion doesn't really have anything useful, only one totem which you can get from a raid. I have found a really good use for the mansion, which is finding the stronghold. Yes, this isn't fake. The stronghold generated in the mansion, meaning if you take the time to travel thousands of blocks away on this seed, you will get a 2-in-1 deal. On top of that, as soon as you walk into the entrance, you are greeted with the portal room, so you have instant access to the end. On a real note, Mojang, please do something with the mansion in 120. The Enderman is the best early game mob in Minecraft. Now the Enderman only does one thing, which is give you Ender Pearls, but the Ender Pearl is the best way to travel before an Elytra. Now the only other ways to get Ender Pearls is trading with Piglins, which in 119 is super rare, and using a Cleric, but nobody has time for that, making Enderman the best way to get Ender Pearls. Now they are also used to get to the end, which is where you get an Elytra, which is the best way to travel. But now the Enderman has a new use, which is an XP farm, which is the best way to repair your stuff. This is why the Enderman is one of the best mobs in Minecraft and is the best before you get an Elytra. You need to know these Minecraft PvP tips. First off, if someone is just holding a shield, you can use Piercing 4 and it'll just hit right through it, catching the player off guard. Now most people know axe does more damage than the sword, but if you break a shield, you can deal more damage with the sword because it swings faster, making the sword better to use. For nether fighting, if you think you're gonna lose or someone is just more stacked than you, you can use a bed to instantly kill both of you to ensure a draw. Finally, using a lava bucket no matter if you're in the overworld, nether, or end is almost a must. Catching someone in a good lava bucket will make you win 90% of the time because critting someone out while in lava makes it impossible to live. You ever find yourself at a village and check every house for chests? Well, here's a tutorial, starting with the Plains village. Now, you have the blacksmith, which is obvious, the double door house with 4 stairs in front of it, the big house on the 2nd floor, fisherman house, the house with 2 houses in one, and the cauldron house. Now for the savannah village, the blacksmith chest, the red concrete house, the house with a staircase up to it, and the fisherman house. The desert village, the blacksmith chest, this house with terracotta on top of it, the castle looking house, the toolsmith house, and the tall house at the top. The taiga village, the Fletcher house, the house with cobblestone fences in front, the house with large firs in front of it, and the blacksmith chests. The snow village, just leave it, it's terrible, not worth your time. You need to know these quick tips for Minecraft. First, if you need carrots, potatoes, or beetroot, you have to go to a plains village, which is the only village that has these in farms. Although you can find potatoes and beetroot in spruce and snow villages. If you need to explore a snow mountain, make sure you have leather boots so you don't fall into powdered snow. If you find yourself in the nether with no blocks, you can use a piece of TNT or a bed to blow up netherrack for tons of blocks. If you want to loot a bastion but don't know how to deal with brutes, use a lava bucket to kill them and slow them down just like this. Finally, if you make an enderman mad in the end, just place a block down and place a bow on top. You may know that when water goes on top of lava, it turns into obsidian. This is one of the first things you learn while playing, but you may not know about the trap using this. The obsidian trap is one of the most OP traps in the game if pulled off correctly. To do this trap, you need 3 things: water bucket, lava bucket, and a player in a 1x1. Now you need to block them in, place the lava on their head, and quickly place the water and block it off. Now unless they have a good diamond pickaxe, you can hit their feet without them being able to do anything. You can also do this with fences because they don't have to be in the exact block to block them in. You need to be getting buried treasures at the start of a world. Buried treasures are the best early game structure in Minecraft, and here's why. First off, they are very easy to get either from a shipwreck chest or by doing mapless. This makes the access very easy and a must go get structure. Now most people know that they have gold, iron, and cooked fish, which are all very useful when starting up a world, but they also can have diamonds, emeralds, and TNT. Now emeralds are good for trading, but the real nice thing is TNT. You can use it to blow up trees for logs, blow up netherrack for blocks, and even blow up a spawner to make blazes spawn faster. Next time you load up a world, please go get a buried treasure. You need to stop sleeping on the shears in Minecraft. Now when you think of shears, you think of wool, which is cool, but sometimes you need a lot of wool for things like the one cycle. But shears are much more than just shearing sheep. They can also do things like shear mushrooms, which don't really do much, but it could still do that. But mainly shears are used to mine leaves faster, which isn't the best feature ever, but they can get a large sum of blocks very early on, which is super nice. And finally, the shears give you an item exclusive, which is the cobwebs. Now most people don't need cobwebs, but for PvP they are really good, and they can also be cool for pranks. You might know that mending is the best enchant in Minecraft, but what's the worst enchant? Well, for third place, we have Frostwalker. Now, the idea is good. Maybe if there was a Frostwalker 3, it would be better, but since you can't sprint jump while using it, it makes it third place. Now, at second place, we have Thorns. Now, you can argue that Thorns is good, but the damage it deals doesn't outweigh the damage it does to your armor, making it second worst in the game. But in first place, we have the obvious worst enchant in the game, Curse of Binding. Everyone knows that Curse of Binding does literally nothing. It's just a troll enchant that has never been good or useful in any way. You need to be using the trident in Minecraft. Now the trident is pretty rare because you need to find a drown holding one, then have it drop the trident, which can take some time. But the trident is possibly one of the best items to have while playing the game. First off, it allows you to get all the heads, the best mob in the game, and 2 advancements with putting channeling on it. Now the trident also deals a lot of damage, and with loyalty you can pretty much spam it. But the number one reason to use a trident is because if you have Riptide on it, you can move insanely fast in water, and if it's raining, you can move faster than you can with an elytra. You don't use the bow anymore, but here's why you need to be. First off, the bow makes killing things a lot easier, especially in the nether when there are things like ghast shooting at you. The bow is essential to killing the Ender Dragon because even if you one cycle, the more crystals you shoot, the faster it perches. You need to use a bow to kill the wither to get it to its melee stage. Now most people don't use the bow because it doesn't have looting, but there is a trick for this. If you have a bow in your offhand and a looting sword in your main hand and kill something with the bow, it counts the looting still. So if you pull a looting sword from a ruined portal and don't want to waste the durability on it, you can use a bow to kill things. You need to learn this raid strat to do raids 10 times faster. Now raids usually take a long time because killing the different things that spawn takes time, but there is a strategy that makes doing this take no time at all. Now for this strat you need TNT and to be on 2 render distance when you start the raid. Now once the raid starts you need to see where the mobs spawn because they will spawn there every time. So once you kill the first wave you need to place a TNT where they will spawn and light it a little before the timer goes and go back to the chunk you started in. Now all you need to do is repeat for each wave while making the spawn flat. You need to learn this obsidian farm in Minecraft. Now obsidian is one of the most useful items in Minecraft, being able to craft the enchant table, beacon, and most importantly nether portals. Now with this farm you can get an infinite amount of obsidian. Now to do this farm you're going to need all this stuff and to have the game beaten. Basically, a dispenser is constantly shooting at a wither, which makes it take damage so it blows up the obsidian below. Now you make this chunk loader in the portal room to have the dispenser loaded while you're in the end. This farm is really easy to make and took me about 20 minutes to build using this tutorial. Link in the comments. If you have ever not known how to build a nether portal, keep watching. First is a basic lava pool. You set up this L shape with blocks and then you place the water against it and fill in accordingly. For a magma ravine, for the L shape, you place doors here and a block above the magma and place the lava in the shape of the portal. For an underground cave, you place the water like this against the wall and fill in the portal that way. For lava under obsidian, you mine next to the obby and place a door at the lava and break out a portal frame with water like this and fill in accordingly. You ever want to do all the advancements? Well, here's how to do all the hard ones. We'll start off with the quick ones, which are a great view from up here, which you just get hit and throw a pearl. It spreads is just killing a mob near a shulk sensor. And birthday song, just give the LA a cake and press the note block before he picks it up. And now for the harder ones. Sniper duel, which you just go 30 FOV and kill a skeleton 50 blocks away. Bullseye, just place a trapdoor on top, spam arrows at the bullseye, and shoot the target from 30 blocks away. 2 birds, 1 stone, get 2 phantoms in a bow, axe them 2 times each, and use a piercing 4 crossbow and kill them. Our ballistic is get 5 mobs in a hole and pickaxe the strong mobs, then shoot at the middle with the piercing 4 crossbow. Now for Uneasy Alliance and how do we get here, I've made in-depth tutorials already, so go watch them. You need to know these techniques to make your blaze fights faster. Now, the fastest way to kill a blaze without enchants is a diamond sword, so go get one. First off, if you don't already, go to a bastion and trade for fire resistance, then all this doesn't matter. Now, you start with a blaze bed, and if it's an exposed spawner, build a platform around it. Now, to dodge the fireballs, the easiest way is using a shield, but sometimes you don't have a shield, so here's how to do it. First off, you can place 2 pillars like this and hop around between them to bait the fireballs out. You can place a 2-block line above you and jump up and down so they will shoot fireballs at you. Lastly, you can just run around the spawner and dodge all of them like a pro. You need to know how to get the spider pig in Minecraft. This isn't a mod or glitch and is completely vanilla Minecraft and is really easy to get in your house. If you want this, you are going to need 4 things, which are a lead, fence, pig, and a name tag. Now, you are going to need to change the name tag to Grim with 2 M's or dinner bone and give it to the pig so now it's upside down. Now, place a fence 5 blocks above your roof and lead the pig to it, and you should have the spider pig. Now, if your house is 1 story, the outside will look weird, but if you have a 2-story, you can have all the spider pigs in the world. You need to change your base location immediately. Now, hiding your base in multiplayer servers is very important so others can't steal your stuff, so finding the perfect location is crucial. Now, most people put their bases underground thinking it's never going to be found, but one little cheater and you can be destroyed. But the best location for a base is the end. Yes, the end is easily the best. The end goes on infinitely with no real change in terrain or view, making nothing look suspicious. Also, covering up your base is super easy because it's all in stone, making the way you cover stuff no different. Just make sure you don't go and try to set your spawn there. You need to know these Minecraft mechanics to get better. First off, for some mobs, if you go up really high, you can force spawn them in, such as slimes or ocelots, which make it easier to get them. For pretty much all mobs, if you are getting chased and can't kill them, you can just place a block and put a boat on top to save yourself. If you are farming food in the overworld, you need to be offhanding your fire to quickly kill the animals and getting cooked meat as well. Most people know you can place doors underwater to stop dying, but some other ways to not drown are using a bed, using a pressure plate, placing blocks, or spamming your water bucket against the floor. Finally, if you want foxes, they can be annoying to deal with, but if you just crouch, they won't run away from you. Do you know what this item, also known as the honeycomb, does? Well, I feel like I've never seen it while playing in a survival world, so I figure most people don't know what it does. But firstly, to get honeycomb, you need a full beehive and then use shears on it to get 3 honeycomb. Now, with the honeycomb, you can only do a couple of things, which include making a honeycomb block, candle, and all the different wax stuff in the game. Now, all that is pretty much for decoration, so not very useful, but the one other thing it can do is make a beehive using 3 of them. Now, I guess if you want a better looking bee nest, it's cool, but other than that, honeycombs suck. You might want to know all 8 of the new advancements coming to 1.20. There are 3 new husbandry advancements and 5 new adventure advancements, making doing all advancements that much harder. Now, for the husbandry advancements, you have Smells Interesting, which can be gotten by obtaining a sniffer egg, Little Sniffs, which you need to feed a snifflet, and Planting the Past, which requires you to plant any sniffer seed. For the adventure advancements, Respecting the Remnants, you need to brush a pottery sherd, Careful Restoration, make a pot with 4 pottery sherds, Crafting a new look, craft a trimmed armor, then finally, Smithing with Style. Apply Spire, Snout, Rip, Ward, Silence, Vex, Tide, and Wayfinder to any armor piece. You need to start using this elevator in Minecraft. Now, making this elevator is super simple and looks really nice compared to this piece of junk. Now, this uses honey blocks because if you go into the corner, you can clip into the water, raising you up. You just need to place soul sand at the bottom like normal, and instead of using glass, you use honey blocks and you have it. Now, not only does this just look better, you can see while going up so you can look at your awesome builds. You can also place item frames onto the honey blocks to make it look hidden so it blends in well. Now you can have a nice looking fast elevator instead of an ugly staircase. You should be using dark oak forests in Minecraft, and here's why. Dark oak forests are one of the most underrated biomes in the game. Now, dark oak forests have nothing much, just big trees and a chance of a mansion, which doesn't do much, but the reason why you should be using them is because of the trees. Now, you can mine any tree you want, but because the trees are thick and close together, you can get the wood really fast with TNT. Now, why might you need tons of wood? Well, this is because first off, dark oak just looks good, but also for a mass ton of sticks for trading. Trading 32 sticks for an emerald is the best way to get emeralds, so blowing up a bunch of trees makes it 10 times faster. You need to stop using rails in Minecraft. Now, railway systems are a staple of Minecraft, and even though they are slow, they are still the most common way to travel mobs in the game. But if you've ever built a highway before, you know it costs tons of iron and gold to make. But what if I told you you don't need all the rails and only need 2 powered rails? Well, there is a bug where if you place 3 minecarts on a powered rail and send it off, it'll just go until it reaches a stopping point. Meaning, if you set up a powered rail on each side of your tunnel, you no longer need to waste your time with rails. You need to know these Minecraft mechanics to be better at the game. First off, if you're trying to light animals on fire, they run away, making it hard to kill them. But if you place a water in the ground, they hover over it, making it easy. If you have TNT and want ender pearls, if you go to the end and lower your render distance to 8, you can dig out a 3x2 hole and aggro them into the hole, getting lots of ender pearls. If you have a zombie pigman in your spawner or anywhere that is annoying, you can kill them using a bed or using a button on TNT and they won't get mad. If you're in an ocean, make sure you're using a dolphin if you can, because they are faster than using a boat. Finally, if you ever wonder if it's going to thunder during rain, the clouds will turn black, symbolizing thunder. What's the best bastion in Minecraft? Well, I'll rank all 4 of them for you to know. At number 4, we have Stables. Now, Stables is the only bastion that doesn't have guaranteed gold. There is top of the stairs, bottom of the stairs, and triple chest rooms, but they don't have to spawn, making it the worst bastion. At number 3, we have Bridge. Now, Bridge is the second most gold, but overall it's slower to fully loot, and if you don't get triple chests, then the loot is really bad. At number 2, we have Housing, which has lots of chests and is the second fastest bastion to loot. So at number 1, we have Treasure. There's the most gold blocks, the most chests, and is the fastest bastion to fully loot. On top of all that, the bottom chest is the best chest loot in the game. You need to start using these MLG tactics. Now, most people use the water bucket to stop fall damage, but it's outdated, so here are some new creative techniques. First off, we have the Iron Golem clutch, which you need to hit him as you're falling. There's the horse clutch, where you need to ride a horse as you're falling. There is the honey block clutch, which you can just place it on the floor, but if you're good, you place it on the side and take no damage. There's the cobweb clutch, which is super easy to do. There's the scaffolding clutch, where you have to crouch while placing it underneath you. Finally, the best clutch in the game, which is grabbing a totem of undying while falling using a fishing rod. You need to get these 5 items that you're missing in the nether. First off, the most important one, which is bone blocks. Now, they can be found in soul sand valleys and in bastion chests, which can be mass farmed. Now, they are useful because they give you 9 bone meal each, making it the easiest way to farm bone meal, and they are nice to farm because of the sound. Next, we have nether wart, which everyone knows spawns in a fortress, but I'm not talking about that nether wart. I'm talking about the nether wart in the bottom of a housing bastion, that way you don't have to go to a fortress. Now, speaking of a fortress, you need to be farming saddles in them because they spawn all the time. Now, if you're in a bridge bastion, make sure to grab a lodestone because it'll show you where your home is, and it takes a netherite to craft. Finally, make sure to farm glowstone because it upgrades potions, which is good, gives you spectral arrows to ping things, and finally lets you set your spawn in the nether. The 1.20 pre-release has changed Minecraft forever. Now, everyone knows that there are seeds in Minecraft, which is how worlds are generated. But in the new pre-release, they have made loot tables seed-based, meaning that loot drops are based off seeds. This means that when you load up a seed, the drops will be the same every time you generate it. Now, on this seed, if you kill 6 withered skeletons with no looting, you get 6 withered skeleton skulls in a row every time you load it up. And on this seed, the first 4 fish give you a nautilus shell in open water every time. If you don't believe me, go try it for yourself. What do you think about this update? You need to be getting these things every time you see a bastion. Now, first up, you're going to mine the gold blocks so you can trade. Now, from the trades, here's what you're looking for. Ender pearls are the most important thing to grab while trading because ender pearls are the best pre-elytra item. Next, you need to get fire resistance because it makes the pearls more useful, makes blazes easier to kill than silverfish, and ensures you don't die while running around. You need to get arrows from the chest so you can shoot the crystals in the end. Get lots of string for beds. 48 string is 4 beds, which is the minimum you need to kill the ender dragon. Finally, you need to get obsidian. Now, 10 is the minimum you want so you can build a portal, but 20 is way faster because you can build a portal and then get the stronghold cords for the second one. You need to be using this machine to never spawn a warden again. You're going to need all this stuff to build it, and find yourself a shrieker, preferably in an open area. Now, place wool around it and get rid of any sensors within 8 blocks of it. Make an area 5 blocks away from each side and break any vines in your area. Now, use your slabs and place the piston with a chain on top, then you can flood your area. Then finally, break all the wool except this one, then place your sensor and connect it to your piston. Now, if done right, you should get blinded, and now the warden shouldn't ever spawn. Basically, as long as the chunk is loaded, the arrow counts as triggering the shrieker, so you can't trigger any while running around. You need to know every way to move a boat in Minecraft. Now, you can just swim with it, but if you're on land, this is very slow, so here's some tactics to make it go by faster. First off, you could punch the boat any way you want as long as you're going straight or downhill. Now this can be done to get entities in a boat a lot easier and makes moving them easier as well. Now if you have a sword with knockback 2, you can no charge hit the boat to make it move super far. Now if you don't have terrain to punch the boat, you can use the boat yeet to launch it from one place to another. This also works if you want to quickly get the boat up and you can hop in and move it forward. Finally, you can use the piston pressure plate method to get up one block real quick. You need to know these random Minecraft things. First, if you take a water bottle and use it on dirt, it becomes mud, so you don't have to find a mangrove swamp. If you throw a weakness potion on a zombie villager and give it a golden apple, it will eventually cure it into a normal villager. If you name a name tag Dinnerbone and put it on any mob, it goes upside down for whatever reason. If there is a bunch of mobs together, you can use a flint and steel on a creeper and it will blow up. This also works on supercharged creepers, so getting mob heads is easier. If a goat charges at you and hits a wall, it actually drops a goat horn, which is the only way to get one other than a pillager outpost. Finally, when you spawn the wither, if it kills a mob, it drops a wither rose, which does nothing other than give you the wither effect. What's the worst mob in Minecraft? Now there's a handful of mobs that do nothing, like all the community mobs, but what's the worst one? Well, I'll give you the worst passive mob and worst hostile mob in the game. Now for passive mobs, we have some really bad ones like the glow squid, which does nothing, and the parrot that just sits on your shoulder, but you can't run. But the worst passive mob is the rabbit. It's annoying to chase after, gives you no benefit other than looking cute, and drops rabbit hide, which is one of the worst items in the game. Now for the hostile mobs, there is the ghast, which is just annoying, the endermite, which is rare and is only used for enderman farms, but the worst hostile mob is the silverfish. Does absolutely nothing useful and isn't even cool to get killed by. You need to be more creative with explosives in Minecraft. Now most people know that TNT and creepers blow up things, which can be very useful, but I bet you have never used these explosion methods while playing Minecraft. First, in the nether, throw out all TNT and start using a gas to mine for netherite. Makes you look way cooler. Now if you're trying to clear out an area, instead of using gross TNT, you should start using respawn anchors to look way cooler. Finally, when you're in the end, stop using beds to kill the ender dragon and start spamming crystals on him to show how awesome you are. I need you to answer this question. Do you use the brewing stand while playing survival? Now, if you're playing multiplayer, I understand why strength would be needed, but I'm talking about a solo survival world. I know potions are nice and help out, especially for things like clearing out large areas, but making a beacon is just better because you can get speed and haste at the same time. I don't think I've ever brewed potions while playing except for when I'm doing How Did We Get Here. Plus, the only potions I do use, which are fire resistance and water breathing, you can get from trading and from a buried treasure chest. Let me know what you think about this because I think Mojang should change potions. You need to stop using the Totem of Undying in Minecraft. Now this isn't because the Totem of Undying does anything bad, because it only does good things, but because if you use the totem, you're a loser who sucks at Minecraft who should probably go watch Cocomelon. The Totem of Undying is such a broken item with no downside to using it, and honestly doesn't make sense on why it's in the game. It can easily be farmed so you just get tons of them to never die ever. Mojang literally added this just for players who suck and can't live because they are terrible. Please, if you have some skill or just have a soul, throw out all totems and bully people who use them. You need to see Minecraft on infinite render distance. Now unless you play on Bedrock, loser. You know the maximum render distance is 32. This is fine, but it leaves a lot of space that you just can't see, which can be annoying when looking for things. But using the Distant Horizons mod, you can see your entire world, and if you use Optifine, you can really see the power of this mod. Here is a comparison of 32RD and the mod really showing a difference in the game. This is a really cool feature that I wish was in vanilla, but once again, Mojang just adds stupid mobs. You need to be using these Minecraft websites. Now through the years, you might have seen the huge realistic pixel arts, and you can easily replicate it by using this website. Just upload your image and it'll give you the steps on how to get it in your world. If you ever wanted to save levels or not get the too expensive message while anviling items, you need to use this website. It has every item you can enchant and will tell you the best way to get all your enchants on your item with the least amount of levels. No more grinding the Enderman farm for hours at a time. What's your favorite Minecraft mod of all time? Now there are a lot of mods, and some of my favorites are boring performance mods that help the game run better, but you don't really notice them at all. But my favorite mod ever is easily the Pixelmon mod. Pokemon is one of my favorite games other than Minecraft, and the combination of the two is super cool. I've liked Pixelmon ever since I was a kid and grew up watching Pixelmon videos, but there are millions of mods. The only other mod I really know is RLCraft, but it's too complicated. I didn't really get how to progress. Let me know what mods you have found to be fun, because I never seem to find any good ones nowadays. You need to start getting as much netherite as you can. With 120 changing the way you get netherite using netherite upgrades, it's going to make getting netherite pieces even harder to get. So here are the best ways to get netherite before the new update rolls out. First, the easiest way is to loot bastions, especially treasure bastions, because the bottom has a 60% chance of having a netherite ingot in it. But if you're too lazy to go loot for bastions, the second best way is to go to Y15 and mine a long strip and place TNT every 5 blocks or so to get tunnels like this for the highest chance at ancient debris. The best way to farm TNT is desert temples or using a gunpowder farm, so good luck mining. You may know that there are a lot of nice blocks in Minecraft. Now personally, my favorite block type is concrete. It's subtle but also just looks really nice, especially black and white. But I have a question for all Minecraft players. Do you use glazed terracotta? Now terracotta is cool, just takes a while to get and just isn't as nice looking as concrete. But I swear I've never seen anyone use glazed terracotta, and to be honest, I see why. Glazed terracotta just looks like garbage and you have to smelt it in a regular furnace, taking forever to actually get it. Let me know if you actually use this and why, because it's bad. You need to use these methods to clear out areas. First off, if you're super far in a world, you can dig straight down and place TNT all the way up and blow it all up for a massive chunk to be gone. If you aren't as rich, farm up a bunch of bone blocks to get lots of bone meal and moss blocks to break all the moss with the hoe really fast. Another way is to place down a couple of beacons to get haste 2 and speed 2 and manually mine it all out, but good luck with that. Finally, you can make the TNT machine to blast tons of blocks while moving forward. Are you still mining like this? Because you need to stop now. Now instead of mining 2 blocks in a strip mine, you need to mine 1 to be 2 times faster. In the overworld, the easiest way to do this is to mine the block you want to go into and place water above and swim in. Now these next methods work in the overworld and nether. You can use a trapdoor to force yourself into swimming. You can also use a boat and just move the boat towards the block and get out. Now the best way to do this is throw a pearl while sprinting, and when you get into the 1x1 you're still sprinting, so you move a lot faster. And if you already have a long tunnel, you can jump sprint to go really fast. You know about the beehive, and while most people use it for honey farms, others see it differently. Breaking a beehive as fast as possible is something a lot of speedrunners go after for some reason. But did you know the fastest beehive ever broken is 0.132 seconds? Well, this is what it looks like in real speed, and as you can see, you spawn at a ruined portal with an axe and then break it. Now this record will never be broken because it's humanly impossible, so here's what it looks like really slowed down, and it's still really fast. My fastest is 1.7 seconds, so you can try and beat that, but good luck. You need to keep watching if you want to boost your FPS. First off, using a client like Badlion helps your FPS a lot and usually will have every version. Now if you don't want to download that, you need to download Optifine for whatever version you play. Optifine gives you a lot more options to change, meaning you can decrease quality for performance. You also get the zoom feature, which is something every player needs to have. Finally, if your FPS is still bad, you can download an 8x8 pack like this one. Basically, the normal Minecraft texture pack is 16x16 pixels in every texture, but by decreasing this, you have less to load, making things run faster. Did you know you can get a quarter of all advancements in under 30 seconds? Well, using this seed, it makes it pretty easy to get. To summarize how this is possible, you get a ruined portal that spawns you into a bastion and fortress, and the bottom treasure chests have a lot of advancements in them. Here is me doing it in 27 seconds. Now, I messed up the crafting at the end, so you can easily do it faster if you try long enough. Let me know what time you get and if you can beat me. You need to learn how to ninja bridge. Now it's 2023, and if you still don't know how to ninja bridge, you need to learn ASAP. Ninja bridging is a technique where you crouch at the end of the block to go faster. Now when doing this, you need to be using A and S or D and S to go fast, because moving with 2 movements is faster than 1. Now all you need to do is go into a world and practice timing, and it shouldn't take you more than 10 minutes to figure out. Now if you want a harder challenge, you need to go to 1.8 and do this where the crouching is instant, so you have less of a time frame to hit it. This is one of the most useful techniques I've ever learned because you can use it in multiplayer or just doing something simple as going across the nether. You should know these time things for your world. First of all, the night hits every 10 minutes, so every odd interval of 10, which most people know. But a full moon happens every 30 minutes after the first night, so at hour and 10 minutes and 40 minutes. If you breed 2 animals, you know that there is a cooldown before you can breed them again, which is 5 minutes, so not too long. If you want phantoms to spawn for 2x2 or for the membranes, they spawn after an hour of not sleeping. Finally, every 5 minutes the game autosaves, causing what is called 5-minute lag, so be careful around this time. You need to know how to fast loot chests in Minecraft. Now, there are a lot of ways to fast loot, but I'm just going to go over a couple of them. The first is the easiest, but in terms of speed, it's probably the slowest. When you click an item, hold shift and double click your left mouse button and it should put all of that item into your inventory. Now, the item that's on your cursor doesn't matter, but make sure you're holding shift. The next one uses the offhand. You start by holding shift and then you hover over the item you want and click as you're pressing your offhand button. You only need to press your offhand button twice, but spamming it makes it a lot easier, so just spam it. Why Minecraft bosses need an update as soon as possible. Now, everyone knows that Minecraft bosses are very bad. None of them really give you anything of use and they're all really easy. Now, the Dragon XP is good and all, but XP farms just make it not that special. Now, the 2 hardest bosses in the game both just lose to beds. The Dragon obviously just dies to them, making all you need is 4 beds, and the Warden you can just keep hitting and dying, making the hardest boss easily killed by just a wooden sword. Now, the Wither is easy to kill on its own, but you can literally take no damage from it by spawning it in the bedrock. Finally, the Elder Guardian is killed really fast as long as you have good armor, so hopefully Mojang has some plans to maybe upgrade these bosses in the future. One of the most underrated blocks is one of the rarest in the game. Now, the block isn't necessarily rare once you find it, but it takes a while to find. The Mushroom Island block, also known as Mycelium, is one of the most slept on blocks in Minecraft. Now, once you find a Mushroom Island, you can farm a lot of it if you bring a Silk Touch shovel, but everyone knows Mushroom Islands are really rare. Mycelium just looks really nice, and I like how it stands out compared to grass with still being dark. I don't think I've seen anyone but me use Mycelium in builds, which just shows how distasteful you all are. You need to always have invisibility on while playing Minecraft. Now, first off, invis is just nice to run around people's bases secretly and scout for things. But invis goes way further than just sneaking up on people. Now, if you're caving, dealing with mobs is annoying, but with invis on, the mobs won't aggro on you unless you get really close to them. But this isn't the greatest feature of invisibility. Now, you know that when you have it on, you become unseeable, but also your name tag disappears. Now, this is the only way to remove your name tag other than crouching. People can't see your underground base and makes running away super easy. Start stacking up on some invis pots immediately. You need to hear this if you have farms in Minecraft. One of the biggest problems with crop farms is you get a lot of whatever crop you want, but you also end up with a lot of seeds. Now, wheat seeds you can use to breed chickens, but how many chickens do you need to breed? But what you can do with all the seeds is put them in a chest with a hopper going into a composter. Now, this will automatically make all your seeds into bone meal, which finally leaves a purpose to all the extra seeds. Now, since you have farms, you probably won't use the bone meal for crops, but what you can use it for is moss to mine out large areas fast, just like this. 120 just dropped, and here's everything you need to know. First, they made bamboo a new wood type by using 9 bamboo for a block of bamboo. They added a whole new biome called the cherry blossom biome, which has the new cherry wood type and is easily now the best biome in the game. They added 2 new mobs, one being the camel, which spawns at desert villages, is rideable by 2 players, can be bred using cacti, makes you unhittable by 2 block tall mobs, and can walk over a block and a half. They also added the sniffer. They added new suspicious sand and gravel, which can be dug with the new brush for all this stuff. Most importantly, you can pull pottery sherds, which are a decorative item that can be combined to make a pot. Finally, they changed the armor system, making netherite upgradable by using a netherite upgrade only found in bastions. They also made armor customizable with the new armor trim with a cool system of using minerals for colors and different trims for different patterns. You probably don't know these Minecraft things. First, if you're a peaceful player, you must be 3 years old, but anyway, if you have any level of respiration on a helmet, you can't drown because you regenerate health faster than you take damage. If you want a super easy auto furnace but don't want to set up lots of redstone, you can use a chest boat on top of hoppers. All you have to do is put the ore into the chest and it will auto sort it into 9 hoppers. You can use a carpet farm on top of it all for fuel to make it that much better. Finally, most people know that if you put a zombie underwater, it will transform into a drown. But did you know if you put a skeleton in powdered snow, it turns into a husk? You need to be getting as many supercharged creepers as you can. Now, most people know that if you throw a channeling trident at a creeper while it's thundering, it turns into a supercharged creeper. Now, the supercharged creeper is just a stronger creeper, but if it kills a mob, it'll drop its head. Now you can't do anything with these heads, leaving people just getting some for decoration. But what you can do is bring wither skeletons to the overworld and farm a bunch of skulls. Now you do this because it's a 100% drop rate when the wither skeleton is killed by the supercharged creeper. So if you get a lot of supercharged creepers and a bunch of wither skeletons, you can farm tons of skulls instead of having to kill a bunch. You probably know about armor trims by now since it's the biggest update in 1.20. So you also probably know that the rarest armor trim is found in ancient cities with only a 1.2% chance of being loot in the chests, making it take 80 chests on average. Now ancient cities are pretty rare to find, so here's the best way to find them. Now while flying around, you need to be looking for big mountains, preferably snowy peaks, but any good looking mountain will do. Now you just have to dig down and hope for a cave to lead you to the ancient cities. Now if you're going to look for the silenced armor trim, I recommend setting up the anti-warden spawner machine so you don't have to worry about them when looking. You need to look at these new armor designs in Minecraft. First, if you wanted to become a stormtrooper, it's easier than ever. Using the Shaper armor trim found in Trail Ruins with 3 netherite ingots on iron armor will now give you some fancy stormtrooper armor. Now you can also use the snout armor trim with lapis and you can get yourself some Clone Wars armor. If you want to get Iron Man suit, you can get full leather armor dyed red with the eye trim on the helmet and boots, tied on leggings, and wild on chestplate to get some cool looking armor. For Spider-Man enjoyers, if you use Vex on helmet, Ward on chestplate, Eye on leggings, and Coast on boots, you can get some really nice looking Spider-Man armor. You can also use the exact same patterns on black leather armor for the Venom variation of this look. Let me know if you'd like to see more cool designs. You need to be using this 1x1 trap. Now this trap is strategically placed with all types of blocks to prevent all types of methods of getting out. Now it starts with a slab on the bottom to prevent getting out from the bottom. Now for the surrounding area, we have crafting tables with signs on them and a sponge on every layer to prevent water from being placed. Now you use crafting tables to obviously try and stop right clicking and the signs to also prevent the same thing. Now you use wood stuff because most people will keep a pickaxe in their inventory, but an axe probably won't be the case, leaving you getting free kills for anyone dumb enough to fall into their doom. You need to see these insane superhero armor designs. Now a lot of people were telling me I need to do more, so here are some of the coolest ones. First, for netherite armor, you can replicate looking like Miles Morales. Put Vex on helmet, Eye on chestplate, and Wild on boots. Now you can actually have some good armor on while looking clean while running around. Another huge request was for Batman. So all you need is Eye on helmet, Wild on chestplate, and Coast on leggings, and you should get the Bat armor. Finally, for Joker fans, you need to put Dune on helmet, Vex on chestplate, and Spire on leggings. You should now have one of the best villains of all time on your arsenal. Now since these two are leather, it's probably better to have as decoration rather than armor because you will probably lose it. You need to know the new rarest armor in Minecraft. Now everyone knows that netherite is the rarest armor in the game, but since armor trims got added, there is a new rarest. Now for this armor, you're going to need 8 netherite ingots, 4 netherite upgrades, and 4 silence armor trims, which means you need 32 netherite scrap to pull the 10% chance of getting a netherite upgrade 4 times, and pull 4 silence armor trims which have a 1.2% chance of spawning in an ancient city chest. Now ancient cities are the rarest structure in the game, and the silence armor trim takes an average of 80 chests to get it. So in total you need 320 ancient city chests on average, which is like way too many. Now once you have everything, you need to upgrade to netherite armor and put the silence armor trim on each armor piece with netherite as the lining for the armor. The wither skeleton is one of the best mobs in Minecraft. Now hold on, let me explain to you why, because I know you're already screaming at the phone. Now obviously the reason is for the wither skull, because other than that it doesn't give much. Now the wither skulls make the wither and that's it, but from the wither you get a nether star, which also does nothing except make a beacon. But finally, the reason why the wither skeleton is so good, the beacon. Now the beacon allows you to get these effects, which are nice and all, but the only one that makes it extremely good is because of haste 2. Now this is the only way to get haste in the game, and haste 2 allows you to insta-mine almost every common block in the game. Now just from 3 wither skeletons, you have one of the most useful abilities in the entire game. You may have a favorite achievement in Minecraft, but here's why these are the top 3. At number 3, I have all the multiple step achievements. These include adventuring time, monsters hunted, a balanced diet, 2x2, a complete catalog, and hot tourist destination. They are all cool because you have to do a lot of stuff for them, but I think everyone can agree that these are nice, so they are 3. At number 2, I have Star Trader. If you do Star Trader by getting a villager to build height, then I would see why this isn't a fun achievement. But if you do it the fast way using pearls, I think it's very creative and nice to pull off. At number 1, I have my favorite achievement to do in the game, Uneasy Alliance. Now I know this achievement is pretty hard doing it normally, but using the strat I explained in this video, it makes you feel like a god pulling it off. Bamboo is one of the most overlooked items in Minecraft. Bamboo is found in bamboo jungles, and before the 1.20 update, all it did was make sticks, scaffolding, and breed pandas. Now with 1.20 it has a few more uses, but nothing too game changing. But bamboo has one use that makes it super useful, and that is fuel. Now bamboo as a fuel source only smelts a quarter of an item, but since you can grow bamboo, you can get infinite farms of it. Meaning if you set up a simple auto farm with auto sorters, you never have to worry about fuel ever again. Also just wanted to say thank you for 10k. Really awesome milestone to hit, and I appreciate anyone who watches the videos. You need to know how to navigate big lava pools in the nether. There are many ways to get across lava, with most people just using blocks. Now this is fine, but it's super slow and you can need a ton of blocks, so here's some other ways. If you have a saddle, fishing rod, and warped fungi, you can use a strider, which is a really good way to get across, but takes a lot of stuff and getting a strider can be annoying. For the least amount of resources, you can use boats to run across, but it's pretty hard, and if you mess up, you lose everything. If you've been a fortress already or just traded with the piglins, you can obviously use fire res and just swim, but it'll take a long time. Finally, the easiest and most efficient way probably is using ender pearls. If you don't have fire res, you can use the basalt pillars, and if you do, just chuck them and you'll be done within 10 seconds. You need to learn all these techniques to get faster at the craft. First off, the most important is speed bridging, one of the most useful things in the entire game. Building normally across mountains or lava lakes can take forever, and by learning how to speed bridge, it'll save you tons of time. Another very useful technique to learn is the boat run strat. You don't need to use it much, but when and if you do, it's very useful, especially if you're running away from people. Fast looting is another insane technique that you need to know. When playing Minecraft, you loot mini chests, and looting the things you want fast is so nice in comparison to shift clicking everything individually. Finally, this technique isn't the most useful or used, but the lava blip is super fun. It's very impressive to watch someone else do it, and preventing fall damage in the nether can be hard sometimes. You need to throw out your water bucket, and here's why. The water bucket is one of the most used items in all of Minecraft and is almost always in someone's hotbar. But you need to stop using the water bucket and use the powdered snow bucket. Now powdered snow also stops fall damage just like the water bucket, but also adds to it because you can use it in the nether. Your next complaint is going to be for climbing up walls, but as long as you keep leather boots in your inventory, you can also climb up things just as easy, if not faster, with powdered snow. This makes powdered snow better on every level except for two things, which are to cover lava and putting out fire. Now you can still put yourself out, it just goes away, and if you still cover lava in 2023, learn what an end city is. You need to stop what you're doing right now. You have to know that there's 37 inventory slots in one person's inventory. You might also know that there's 53 slots in a large chest, leaving you with 90 slots in total. But obviously you can't run with large chests in your inventory, meaning 53 of those slots are kind of useless for holding things that you always need. But did you know that the maximum amount of inventory slots while running around is 999? Well, if you get yourself 37 shulker boxes, fill all 27 slots that each of them have, and you now have 999 items in your inventory. Now this is very inconvenient because you can't really use anything, but you definitely have 999 items in your inventory. You need to know how to see under lava for lots of ores. Now everyone sees lava and just covers it while caving, or in the nether just runs away from it. But here are some methods to see under lava just so you see how useful it really is. If you're in a cave, you can bring lots of glass to see under shallow lava pools to find lots of different things. Now this will only bring you a little bit of stuff because it's slow and searches smaller areas. But if you want to find tons of netherite, all you need is a fire resistance potion, a grindstone, and some blocks. Build a little bridge with a block on top, then place the grindstone like this and crouch underneath it to see everything. This is an easy way to see the nether floor, but also can be used in big lava pools as well. Some methods to go up a nice sky base. Well, first up, you could use a ladder, vine, or just water, but these are all super slow and other people can easily come take your stuff. Now you can add a soul sand to the water to make it way faster, but still other people can easily use it. Now if you have spruce, dark oak, or jungle saplings, have lots of spare bone meal and ender pearls, then you could do this next trick. Place 4 saplings together, throw an ender pearl up, then spam the bone meal to go up and repeat the process a bunch. Now this obviously kinda just sucks, but it's funny and cool to look at. Finally, the easiest and best way to get to a sky base fast is by using TNT. If you place TNT like this, with all it floating to a corner, you can blast up super high and it'll take about 2 seconds to get up there. Now the only problem is not dying with all your stuff, but you should be fine. You've probably found a dungeon before and wanted to make a farm with it. So here's how to make a fully working farm out of a skeleton or zombie spawner. Once you find a spawner and cover it with torches, you're going to need to collect all these items. Then you're ready. You start by clearing out a 9x9 area, which is 4 blocks on each side of the spawner. Once you have your box, place down water on one side to make it flow to the other side of the box. Clear out 2 blocks down with another water flowing to the corner. Mine 6 blocks down with a hopper on the bottom connected to a chest. Now you can remove all the torches you have placed and put a slab on the spawner, and you should have a fully working farm. Enchanted golden apples are the best food in the entire game, but are pretty rare. Now, unless you want to search every desert temple, ruined portal, and ancient city chest, you aren't going to have too many on hand. But if you wanted to farm a lot of them easily, there's a trick to get lots of them. Now, before you do this, you're going to need to get tons of gold blocks, so looting tons of bastions to farm them is going to be the move. Now, once you have tons of gold blocks, you're going to want to load up 1.8 and load into your world. Now, since in 1.8 you can craft enchanted golden apples using 8 gold blocks, you can now craft as many as you want without spending hours and hours of your time scavenging just to get one. You need to set up this trap using chests. Now, before I start, it's not the open a chest and you blow up trap. That's super old, outdated, and just doesn't work anymore. Now, this trap uses a lesser known fact in the game. Now, if you run 50 blocks from a chest, you can no longer see it. Now, since it's unrenderable from this distance, if you build a sky base, any chest on the ground you just won't be able to see. So we can use this by placing tons of chests on the floor and running up a sky base, and any enemy won't know that it's there. So if you lead an enemy up a sky base and jump off, you can easily survive with a plethora of things, while enemies will die to fall damage and you get all their stuff. You need to see what world corruption looks like. Now, a lot of people were telling me if you load a newer version world on an older version, it can cost your entire world, which is true, but it's salvageable. So here's everything you need to know about world corruption in Minecraft. Now, first off, if you load a new world, then log on to it on an older version, then relog with the newer version, and you now have world corruption. Now, the most notable thing is the walls that spawn in biomes, which look pretty cool actually, but not the best for beauty. Now, the other thing that happens is whatever generates in the older version stays on the world, so you have things like cows floating in water. Honestly, corrupting your worlds for infinite enchanted golden apples is totally worth, because corruption is pretty dope. You have to know these ways to get every mineral the fastest. Now, all these methods are purely for speed off spawning in a new world, so not all of them are the best for getting lots of them. Firstly, iron, gold, and diamonds can be obtained in seconds using a blacksmith chest, buried treasure, or shipwreck. Gold can also be found in ruined portals right away. Lapis is in shipwrecks, and redstone can be gotten by getting a witch hut off spawn or getting a cleric villager with redstone trade. Copper is gotten by killing a drown, which actually has an 11% chance of dropping. Finally, netherite, the hardest mineral. You need to enter the nether, spawn out a treasure, and get a netherite ingot in the chest. Now, you can get all these minerals easily under 30 seconds if you get the right seed, so good luck searching. You may or may not know that brutes are one of the hardest mobs in Minecraft. Brutes are so strong that most people don't want to explore bastions, even though they're the second best structure in the game. So here are some ways to easily avoid or kill brutes while playing Minecraft. First up, I find the easiest way to kill them is just placing a lava bucket while they're following you. This can sometimes not work out if they run through it or you misplace the lava, but usually you'll be fine. Next, if you want, you can mine out a 2-block hole and then build up 2 next to it, and then they will pathfind into it. This can also be done somewhat quickly depending on what bastion you have. Finally, the hardest way is just killing them with brute force. Now, piglin brutes have 25 hearts, which is 5 crits with a netherite sword to kill it, so good luck taking out all of them. You need this spider farm in your world. First, you're going to need to find a spider spawner, and once you have, you also need all these items, and then you're ready. Now, to start, you're going to dig out a 9x9x9 box with 5 blocks above the spawner and 3 blocks below. Once you're done with that, place 2 water buckets on both corners of one of the sides. Then mine the pyramid formation of blocks that aren't being touched by water. Then mine the last block touching the water so the water can flow down. You need to mine out 6 blocks out with a 3x2 hole and place your signs on the second block you dug. Now go back to the spawner and place fences all the way above the spawner to ensure they spawn in the water. In the end of the hole, you can now mine a 3x3 hole down so you can place your chests, hoppers, and walls. Once done, place slabs throughout the hole like this and put 3 blocks and trapdoors on the very end. Now, if done correctly, you should have a nice spider farm for your world. You probably know a lot of people die in the nether, whether because they are bad, they think they can swim in lava, or because they just run out of food. So here's every food source you can get while in the nether. To start, in the newest versions, the easiest way to get tons of food is bastion chests. They spawn with golden carrots, golden apples, cooked pork chop, and in stables, raw pork chop in the food chest. Now also in bastions, hoglins spawn which drop pork chop, and if you're smart you light them on fire to get cooked pork chops. Now in a crimson biome you find hoglins as well for pork chops, and you always have zombie pigmen around to kill for rotten flesh. Ruined portals are spread across the nether which can have golden apples, enchanted golden apples, and golden carrots. Now if you're really lucky you can find a chicken jockey spawn and get some cooked or raw chicken. Finally, you can find mushrooms in nether wastes which can be used for mushroom stew, and if you bring flowers you can also get suspicious stew. Now you can throw as many pearls as you want and take as much damage as you need to without worrying about running out of food and dying with all of your stuff. You need to be utilizing these commands in Minecraft. Now obviously if you play survival this won't matter to you, but one thing you should be using in survival is F3C because it marks your exact location so you can never get lost. But anyways, here are the best commands in Minecraft. The build command is super useful for maybe just changing blocks to something else, but most notably making blocks air so you don't have to spam click them away. Next we have the summon command. You might think that this command is just okay because at face value all it does is summon a mob, but this command is way more in depth than this. This command allows you to summon customized mobs if you know how to work it, so you can get things like this creation. Finally, the best command in Minecraft is the locate command. It's probably the command I use most for making videos and is one of the best additions in Minecraft history. You need to see what max enchants look like in Minecraft. Now everyone knows that there is a limit to the level of enchantment things have, but with commands the max level is 255. So here's what happens when you put level 255 on different enchants. First off, fortune 255 is kinda insane with the amount of stuff you get. For things like diamonds and emeralds you just get a stack plus, and for things like redstone or lapis you get a casual 4 stacks. Looting has kinda the same effect with insane drops on mobs, and say goodbye to fortress strips taking forever because one blaze drops you 3 stacks of rods. Riptide on a trident flings you about 7,000 blocks, so traveling takes about 2 seconds with this crazy enchant on. Finally, knockback and punch. Basically just throws the mob at insane distances. I mean, just look at how fast this thing goes. Absolutely insane. Have you ever wanted to race someone in beating the game? Well, with the ranked mod, you can race against other people to try and be number 1. Basically, if you go to mcsrrank.com and download the launcher, it'll prompt you to create an instance, and once that's done, you're all set up. Once you load the instance, just click on the ranked icon and start a match, then you're shown lots of options. You can either go straight into ranked mode or practice with casual where losing doesn't affect you. You can also create a room or join one if you want to play with friends. So here's what it looks like in action. You first get matched with an opponent at the same skill level and you load into the scene at the exact same time. You start doing your overworld stuff by making your tools and making your other stuff, and then you find your enter and enter the nether. Once you're in the bastion, you start mining gold to put piglins in a hole and to trade with for pearls. Enter the fortress for blaze rods and find the stronghold coordinates and go into the stronghold. Enter the end and kill the dragon and you have won. These are the final splits of the match, and as you can see, I was faster in every aspect, and when you play a match, you can look at these yourself. You need to know how to tame every mob in Minecraft. Now most people know how to tame a cat using raw cod or salmon, and wolves by just giving it bones, but there are lots of other mobs that are tameable in Minecraft. For horses, donkeys, and mules, you just give them 32 wheat and ride them with your fists and it will tame. If you want a nice friend to run around with, just feed some seeds to a parrot and put them on your shoulder. Getting a fox is kind of weird. You need to breed 2 foxes, then that baby fox will follow you when it grows up or you kill its parents. Finally, the axolotl. All you need is to bring